Welcome to Destination Station, your number one station in the nation. As always, I'm Destin. Today I want to do a little quick Blu-ray pickup video for you guys today. I don't usually do them like this. I've done them a few times before in the past, and I know I said that I was going to give special attention to like steel book unboxings and stuff like that and give those like their own video, but I'm also going to do Blu-ray pickups for you guys. I know it's not Tuesday, but I missed this past Tuesday. I've been very busy with planning on a wedding and just everything. So, yep. So let's get to it. The first title I want to talk to you today about is a movie that was on Hulu. It's now released on Blu-ray. I think it's been out for a couple weeks now, maybe even a month. But it's called 11/22/63. It's starring James Franco. It's an adaptation from a Stephen King novel. J.J. Abrams is one of the creators behind this. This right here, I've only seen the first episode. Haven't watched the rest. My fiance has watched most of it, but this right here, just watching the first episode, it's got me hooked. I can't wait to binge watch the rest of this season. Whenever it's my day off, I'm going to go ahead and check that out. If you haven't seen this, not a lot of people is talking about it because it was on Hulu. If it would have came out on Netflix or something, I think it would have got a lot better recognition. A lot of people would know about it. But pick this up right now. I picked this up at Best Buy for like $22 on Blu-ray, so that's a good deal. It's got like 10 episodes in it. So basically, what the movie's about is it's about James Franco. He's a teacher. He's a college professor, and he has a friend. He's going through his own. I think he's going through a divorce and everything. He has a friend that owns a diner that he goes to eat at all the time. The friend is played by what's his name? It's not even on here. Dang. Anyways, his he's a known actor, but his friend, he goes into the back of the diner for a minute while James Franco's out and at the table eating his food. James Franco's wife leaves and everything. He signs the divorce papers. Guy comes back out. He starts coughing. He starts explaining that he has cancer. He looks totally different from a couple of minutes ago that he saw him before. He saw him before serving coffee, doing all this kind of stuff. It seemed perfectly fine and okay, but as soon as he goes to the back and comes back to the front, he looks awful. He explains he has cancer and everything, and then he starts telling James Franco that he's been somewhere that he can't really explain it, but he wants to he has to show him. So he's trying to talk James Franco into doing this this thing. So James Franco is very skeptical of what he's about to do. He tells him to walk into a closet. When he walks into a closet, he says, just keep going, go into the darkness. James Franco ends up walking all the way to the back. Next thing you know, he ends up in 1963, and he's there. He doesn't know what just happened. He just walked through like this wormhole and went to the past. And there's only like, from what I've seen, there's only like one guy that really acknowledges his presence there. He's like you shouldn't be here. You're not supposed to be here. And I think that guy's played by the dude who plays Benny on The Mummy. I'm not quite sure what his name is, but I recognize him from that film. But yeah, so he goes back to the diner. He comes back through the wormhole and he talks to his friend, and he says what just happened? And he's like he can't explain it. He doesn't know how it happened. He doesn't know how the wormhole appears. He just discovered this one day. So what he wants to do is change the assassination of John F. Kennedy, because he feels like Vietnam wouldn't have happened. He feels like all these major events in history would have never occurred if John F. Kennedy would have lived. So he's trying to talk James Franco into doing it because he's sick now. He's got cancer. He can't go through with it. But what he's explaining to James Franco is that if you're in that world, no matter how long you're in there, if you're in there for 2 years and you come back, in our world, in today's time, you've only been gone for 2 minutes. So it's very weird, and I can't explain too much about it. I don't want to give away too many spoilers. Plus, I haven't seen the whole show, but if you go in there, no matter how much time you spend in there, you come back, you've only been gone for 2 minutes. So he says, but once you go back in, everything resets. So once you come back, don't go back or everything's going to reset back to the way it was. So he's trying to talk him into um, preventing the assassination of John F. Kennedy. I know this is one of Stephen King's best novels. Have not read it. Don't know what the difference is between the novel and this miniseries. This miniseries was on Hulu, like I said, but if you don't have Hulu, go buy it or stream it offline if you have to. But yeah, it's very good from what I've seen so far. Pick this one up. Next one I want to talk about is they had a 3 for $20 at Best Buy, and whenever they do those deals, they usually have some really good titles. Some of them not so good. Sometimes they got the same old titles, but this week they had a couple new titles so I just went ahead and picked up on the deal. But one I picked up was The Night Before with Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Anthony Mackie. I think that's his name. And this also has Michael Shannon in it as like the drug dealer. This movie didn't get a whole lot of buzz around it around Christmas. It is, I can see it kind of could offend some people, but I'm not easily offended. So this is a very funny movie. This is one Seth Rogen movie that I felt like it was funny steadily throughout the films. A lot of his movies fall off flat near the end. Like the first half is funny, second half falls off flat a little bit. But yeah, this is one of his better movies to check out, watch around Christmas time. But yep, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen this. It's been out for a while, but this was on one 3 for $20. Originally, it was like $15, so I went ahead and jumped on it. Next one was another Seth Rogen film, and this one's always on the 3 for $20 rack or whatever. And I haven't picked it up, so I had to have this in my collection. It's called This Is the End. It's got Seth Rogen. It's got all his friends, James Franco, Jonah Hill, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson. It's got a bunch of them, and I'm pretty sure y'all seen this as well. Pretty funny, but like I said, a lot of his movies fall off flat, and this is one I was talking about. Very enjoyable movie, but the first half was really funny. But then the second half, I'd say the part where Jonah Hill has to do his exorcism and everything, that point on, it kind of took me out of the movie, and I was kind of like, did they not have enough money to keep all the characters in the movie, or what the deal was? But yeah, it gets a little crazy, but it's still a fun movie. Had to have this in my collection. I've been on a Danny McBride binge right now. He's got a new show on HBO called Vice Principals. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's hilarious. I've only watched a little bit of Eastbound and Down, but Vice Principals, I love that show. It's hilarious. Check it out. All right. The next one that I picked up was the second film's in the theater right now, and I want to see it. I haven't heard great things, but I love the first one. I thought it was one of Jason Statham's best, and that's called The Mechanic. And it's also got Ben Foster in it. That's probably one of the main reasons why this is one of his best films, is because of Ben Foster. His character, Ben Foster, always delivers in his movies, and this was one of Jason Statham's best movies. I don't know about the second one. I know it's got Tommy Lee Jones. I heard it's like a throwback to like 90s action. Jessica Alba's in it, but I still want to see it. I heard it's cheesy action that some people say it should have been straight to DVD. So I'm not gonna go check it out at the theater. I'm gonna wait to see it for free, or when it comes out, I'll add it to my collection. But yep, that's The Mechanic. So yep, I got all three of those for $20. Not a bad deal. And then also I wanted to talk to you guys about a movie. Not a whole lot of people know about this movie. I didn't even know about it until I saw some stuff online about it, but it's called the ToDo List. Hilarious. It's got Aubrey Plaza in it. It's got Christopher Mintz Plaza, whatever, who plays McLovin on Superbad. It's got Bill Hader in it. It's got Andy Samberg in it. This is a hilarious movie. It's hilarious. It says it's funnier than American Pie. I don't know about that, but I haven't seen American Pie in a long time. But that was a pretty funny movie. This movie is very raunchy, but it's hilarious. I don't know if it ever went to theaters or what, but check this movie out. It's called The ToDo List. Next one I'm going to talk to you guys about. Not a whole lot of people has talked about this, so I'm trying to give a little bit of recognition to some films that a lot of people have missed or don't know a whole lot about, and that is Bone Tomahawk, starring Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox and Richard Jenkins. One of my favorite movies. I love this movie. Not a whole lot of people are talking about it. Not a whole lot of people know anything about it. You know, the most known project that Kurt Russell has been in is The Hateful Eight, that Quentin Tarantino film. But this movie right here, maybe I feel like that they filmed this before The Hateful Eight, but they were waiting for The Hateful Eight to come out so they could make profit off of Kurt Russell's name again. So a lot of movies do that. Kind of like how they did like with Chris Hemsworth whenever he was filming Thor, and they held his project of what was it, Red Dawn and Cabin in the Woods. Like that was both of those films were filmed before Thor, but they waited for Thor's release and then brought out Red Dawn and Cabin in the Woods and profited off his name, which Cabin in the Woods is awesome as well. But this movie right here, it's like a horror western. You also got Sid Haig in it. I know Reject Films. I know you're a big Rob Zombie fan. If you like Sid Haig, Captain Howdy, or whatever his name is, you'll like this movie. He's in it. It's also got David Arquette in it. And this movie, just the way it's kind of a slow burn, but when it picks up, when the action occurs, it's balls to the wall. And I think what the performances and the acting in this movie was so great. And I don't know why this didn't go to theaters, but just everything about this movie, I loved it. I watched it like 3 times since I've owned it. But basically, what it is that Kurt Russell is the sheriff of this town, and Richard Jenkins is his deputy, and David Arquette has came across town, and he seems like he's up to no good. So they take him in, they have him in a holding cell and everything. They get Patrick Wilson's wife to come and take out the bullet out of his leg. I think he gets shot in the leg or something. So she's like the doctor in the town. So Matthew Fox goes and gets Patrick Wilson's wife, brings her to the holding cell. But the next morning when they show up, David Arquette and Patrick Wilson's wife is gone. They're gone missing. And all they see is like an arrow in one of the walls. And so when they get there, they have to put like a group of people, including Patrick Wilson, which is her husband, together, and they go like trying to search for these. They're not Indians, they're called cave dwellers, and they're just like cannibalistic. It's like cannibalistic Indians out in the mountains. So they have to go, it's like a search and rescue team just going to find them. And then they it's a lot of dialogue, but the dialogue is so well. It's almost like something that Quentin Tarantino would write, just a little less vulgar. But the action, also, one thing about this movie, there's no musical score. And when action happens, you hear the hits, you hear the gunshots. Everything sounds so realistic and so good. And when the climax of the film comes, kind of gave you a kind of reminded you of The Descent a little bit. You know, going in the caves and there's like these cannibalistic people and stuff like that. Very graphic. It gets very, very graphic violence at times. But a damn good movie. Check out Bone Tomahawk. Fantastic movie. Alright guys, that's my pickup for this week. Subscribe to Destination Station. Like this video. Give it a thumbs up. And if you've seen any of these films, let me know what you think about them. Let me know what you think about 11-22-63. If you've seen the whole series, let me know if it's good. I know the first episode was. And if you've seen this film, let's start a discussion, because this movie needs a lot more recognition. And if you haven't seen it, add it to your collection. Go see it now. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Take care.